Hello and welcome to Lanksports.com. I'm Matt Blymeyer, joined of course by Dave Byrne.
Hello.
We're going to take a look at the 2010 State Wrestling Tournament, which will be held Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Giant Center. Currently there are 6 LO League wrestlers in AAA and 1 in AA, and we're going to start in AAA, and of course we have to start with Antonio Giorgio. The Warwick Senior was 5th last year at 215. He was 2nd at 189 as a sophomore. He's back to 189 this year. Dave, what can we expect out of him this season?
Yeah, he's back at 189, and he's not the only one. The returning runner-up, Jamie Callender, is back, as well as the returning 3rd place, Andre Petrosky. Callender from Council Rock North and Petrosky from Springfield Delco. Petrosky is in Giorgio's bracket, which if you got to have one of them in your bracket, that's the guy to have early. They would meet in the quarterfinals. And he will have to beat both of them to win the championship, but that's not out of the question.
And he is 24-0 right now. He was injured earlier in the season. Having only wrestled that many matches, does that affect him either positively or negatively going into the weekend?
I think if it's anything, it's a positive. He's fresh. He's back in shape now. The rust is gone. He looks pretty good. He got a good test in the finals from Sprinkle from Dallastown, who, by the way, is in Callender's bracket and would be a quarterfinal opponent for Callender. So maybe Sprinkle can do Giorgio a favor.
Okay. And we'll stay at 189. Manheim Township's Austin Schultz. What can we expect from Austin? He is 33-4 heading into Thursday.
Yeah, Austin's kind of the unknown now. Nobody really knows who he is in the tournament, and he opens up with the Northwest Region champion, Michael Pollard of Corey. And he could well, if the breaks roll right for him, meet Giorgio in the semifinals, which would be a good thing for Austin.
Okay. And let's go down to the smaller weights. 103 pounds. Hempfield's Austin Miller, 36-2. He will take on his first opponent is Billy Rappo of Council Rock. What do you think Austin's chances are Thursday?
Yeah, there's 2 names in this bracket. Rappo is a name. He's a sophomore. He didn't wrestle in the tournament last year, but he is a Rappo. So he comes with a little bit of a reputation. And who else Austin might meet would be Ethan Kenny, a freshman from Connellsville. Connellsville churns out top wrestlers like an assembly line. So they would be some tough guys he would have to get through to get back to a finals matchup against Jordan Conaway, who has to feel like the world was turned back on its axis since he beat Austin in districts. But we'll find out how that goes.
Okay. 119 pounds and 125 pounds. At 119, we have Garden Spot's Kyle Coblentz, 34-4. And at 125 pounds, we have Penn Manor's Bobby Ream, who is 36-4. Tell us about each of those 2 wrestlers.
Yeah, Kyle's in the upper half of the bracket. The name in there would be Anthony Marino of Bethlehem Liberty. He was 5th last year at 112. Kyle would run into him in the semifinals should he get that far. The lower half of the bracket is 112-pound champ from last year, Nico Megaludis from Franklin Regional. And he's got to be a favorite to win it all at 19, being a returning champ. As far as Bobby Ream goes at 25, he's in the lower half of the bracket with Mitchell Port, who was 4th at 119 last year from Belfont. And the upper half of the bracket is Matt Rappo and Cameron Throckmorton, and the returning runner-up from 112, Zach Horan. So Ream's in a good place bracket-wise.
Okay, at 130 pounds, we have Solanco's Dan Neff. Neff is 39-2. One of those losses was a controversial loss.
Both of them, actually.
Both of them have controversial losses. He seemed to have gotten over that. He's in states. How do you think Dan Neff is going to fare this weekend?
Yeah, the nice thing is in states they don't let you wrestle in a skirt. So if you're a little physical, it don't matter. He's in an interesting bracket, half of the bracket. Steve Spearman, who was 3rd last year at 25, and from McDowell, and Blue Mountains, Tyler Ronzon, who was the runner-up at 119, meet in the first round. Ouch. One of those will be the winner and will probably face Neff in the semifinals. In the lower half of the bracket is Mitchell Minotti from Easton, who was 7th at 19, and Tyler Buckman, who Neff defeated for the district title. He was 5th last year at states at 25.
Okay, let's look at the big boy. Heavyweight Cole Delmon from Conestoga Valley, 37-3. He heads into the heavyweight bracket. There, Evan Craig, defending champ from Abington Heights, is returning. Will Cole meet him at any point besides the finals?
Yeah, Cole would run into Evan Craig in the semifinals. They're both in the same half of the bracket. And I think if Cole got to the semis against Evan Craig, he'd be real happy, and take his chances from there. The bottom half of the bracket doesn't have a lot of name guys coming back. Zach Carl, who was 8th last year at 285 from Central Mountain, is tough. And he would be in the finals probably opposite Evan Craig or Cole, should he pull the upset.
And speaking of Craig, there are 9 other wrestlers defending their championships. We talked about a few of them. Jimmy Gillibon from Perry won at 103 last year. He's at 112 this year. Nico, how do you say that name? Megaludis won at 112 last year. He's at 19 this year. Sam Sherlock, who won at 125 last year, got hurt in the Beast tournament, so he is out. He is a Penn State recruit. Josh Kinding from Blue Mountain won at 135. He's at 145 this year. Andrew Alton from Central Mountain won at 140. He's at 145. His brother Dylan won at 145 last year. He's at 152. Marshall Peppelman won at 152 last season. He's at 160 pounds. Nate Gaffney won at 215 last year, though he's defending champion. He beat Spencer Myers, and if any of you guys remember that, Spencer Myers was basically on one leg last year. Also, a fairly local kid, District 3. Kenny Courts was runner-up at 160 pounds last year. He's at 171 pounds this year. Dave, who are the wrestlers not from this area to keep an eye on?
Wow, that's a murderer's row when you talk about Kindig, Alton, Peppelman, Courts. Well, I'd like to coach those guys in the Dapper Dan tournament in Pittsburgh at the end of the month. We could put a whooping on the USA team. There's some really great names to see and some great wrestling to watch.
Yeah, from 140 all the way up to heavyweight. It looks to be very, very good wrestling. And like you said, you're going to have a front row seat.
Yeah.
And we'll take a quick look at Double A. We have one local kid from Anvil, Cleona, Dylan Killian, 35 and 8. He'll be wrestling at 140 pounds. How do you like Killian's chances?
Yeah, Dylan is the LL's only guy in Double A. We kind of got wiped out. And he lost 2 weeks in a row to Colin Schober from Schuylkill Valley, who is the returning state champ from 135. Dylan spoke to me over the weekend and said he'd be the happiest man in the Giant Center if he ran into Colin Schober at Hershey, because that would mean he's in the finals. To do that, he's going to have to beat Central Cambria's Philip Steinberg, who was the runner-up to Schober last year. And I think if he beats Steinberg, Dylan Killian will be ecstatic.
All right, there you have it. Again, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Giant Center. Dave's camping out there all weekend.
Got my sleeping bag.
So pick up your Lancaster Intelligencer Journal / Lancaster New Era on Friday and Saturday, and the Sunday News on Sunday. Also check out Dave's blog, Ringside Ramblings.
Yes, I will try to do a good job of blogging live from the tournament.
As much as legally possible. As one of our colleagues like to say, this is Batman. I'm Robin. Thanks, Rod Frisco.
God bless you, Rodney.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next season.